The Indiana Fever made significant advancements as an organization in 2024. They not only surpassed the previous season's record of 13-27, but also demonstrated competitiveness in their first playoff series in 8 years. Although they were eliminated by the Connecticut Sun in a sweep, Christie sides can extract positive insights from the contest against Stephanie White's team. The Indiana Fever entered the 2 games as underdogs, given that the Connecticut Sun boasted players with greater playoff experience. The outcome of Game 1 might have differed had Caitlin Clark not suffered an eye injury, which adversely affected her performance, resulting in only 10 points recorded that day. The upcoming season holds promise for Clark and the Indiana Fever, for a variety of reasons. Let us explore the factors that could enable the Indiana Fever to progress further in the playoffs next year. The Indiana Fever are among numerous franchises that have executed significant moves during the offseason. They have transformed their roster by parting ways with Nalisa Smith and Temi Fegbini, while acquiring Dewana Bonner and Natasha Howard. Additionally, the acquisitions of Sophie Cunningham and Jaylen Brown are noteworthy and should not be underestimated. An essential inquiry regarding the roster is the duration required for the new players to integrate effectively. If they manage to acclimatize swiftly, the Indiana Fever could be on the brink of a remarkable season. It is difficult to contest the claims made by those asserting that the Indiana Fever have strengthened their team, given the quality of the incoming players. White previously served as the Fever's assistant coach from 2011 to 2014, before ascending to the head coach position from 2015 to 2016. During her inaugural tenure as coach, she led the franchise to 2 third-place finishes in the Eastern Conference, culminating in a WNBA Finals appearance, followed by a first-round exit. She has accrued substantial coaching experience, having worked as an assistant from 2007 to 2014. White is well-equipped to manage the expectations associated with coaching Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, and Kelsey Mitchell, as she has previously mentored seasoned veterans such as Alyssa Thomas, Dewana Bonner, and Brianna Jones during her time with the Sun. This high expectation level deterred certain candidates from pursuing the role. Moreover, White's appointment coincides with an opportune moment, particularly considering that the Fever's 2 best players are notably young, and the franchise is experiencing a positive trajectory. In 2022, they finished at the bottom of the Eastern Conference with a record of 5-31, but they subsequently improved to a 13-27 record in the 2023 season, before achieving a commendable 20-20 performance in the last campaign. The Indiana Fever, similar to other franchises, have opted to implement significant modifications to their roster. While certain teams have made enhancements, others have regressed, thereby diminishing their roster strength. The Connecticut Sun exemplifies a team that has undergone a total overhaul of its lineup. They have parted ways with DeJounte Carrington, Thomas, Bonner, and Jones. Compounding the challenges for the Connecticut Sun is the departure of their coach to the Indiana Fever during the offseason. Additionally, there are franchises such as the Washington Mystics that have not introduced any substantial additions to their roster. It is challenging to foresee a successful season for these teams, including the Golden State Valkyries. On Friday, the Chicago Sky and Indiana Fever jointly announced that their 2 scheduled games in Chicago for the impending season will be relocated from Wintrust Arena to the United Center. Moreover, the game originally slated for July 26th will now take place on July 27th. These will mark the inaugural WNBA games conducted at the United Center, which accommodates over 20,000 spectators for basketball events, a capacity that is double that of the 10,000-seat Wintrust Arena. Below is the revised schedule. In light of the remarkable growth of the WNBA, we now possess a unique opportunity to invite a larger audience to experience this competition at the more expansive venue of the United Center, stated Sky President and CEO Adam Fox. Chicago Sky supporters have consistently demonstrated their commitment to the team and the city, and we aim to acknowledge their enthusiasm and dedication by bringing this excitement to a larger audience. We are confident that Skytown will contribute to an exceptional atmosphere at the United Center this summer. This decision is not surprising, given the considerable interest surrounding Caitlin Clark and the Fever, particularly regarding their matchups against Angel Reese and the Sky. Notably, Clark had proposed this move last year, despite both Fever games in Chicago remaining at Wintrust Arena. "I am surprised we are not playing at the United Center," Clark remarked, before the Fever's first game in Chicago last summer on June 23rd. "I believed that would have been highly beneficial for the game and advantageous for all women's basketball enthusiasts in Chicago. There may be some conflict of which I am unaware clearly that is somewhat beyond my area of expertise." The Fever now feature 4 road games in the forthcoming season. Alongside the games in Chicago, the Fever's 2 road games against the Washington Mystics have been shifted from the Entertainment and Sports Arena in Washington, D.C., which has a capacity of just over 4,000 seats, to the CFG Bank Arena in Baltimore, Maryland, which can accommodate 14,000 spectators. Additionally, the Mystics have relocated home games against the Sky and Las Vegas Aces to Eagle Bank Arena in Fairfax, Virginia, which holds a capacity of 10,000. In year 1, each encounter between the Indiana Fever and the Chicago Sky resulted in a complete sellout. Consequently, a similar turnout is anticipated in May. Acknowledging the substantial excitement among supporters, the Chicago Sky has opted to transfer the matchups to a venue capable of accommodating a larger audience than Wintrust Arena. Significantly, Wintrust Arena has a seating capacity of merely 10,400. However, in response to the overwhelming interest, the Sky has decided to relocate the contests to the United Center. This event will mark the inaugural occasion that the 960,000-square-foot multi-purpose entertainment facility will host a game featuring these 2 teams. The United Center, home to the NBA's Chicago Bulls and the NHL's Chicago Blackhawks, has served over 70 million patrons in the past 31 years. In addition to basketball and hockey, the arena stages more than 200 events each year, encompassing major sporting contests, family-oriented shows, and concerts by prominent musical artists. Consequently, over 20,000 attendees will now have the chance to partake in this eagerly awaited confrontation. Chicago Sky President and CEO Adam Fox articulated the rationale behind this relocation, stating, "In light of the remarkable expansion of the WNBA, we now possess a unique opportunity to invite a greater number of fans to enjoy this rivalry at a more spacious venue." This decision follows similar moves made by other teams, notably involving Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever. The impact of the 2024 Rookie of the Year on WNBA viewership and attendance is now markedly evident. During her inaugural season, the league reached an average viewership of more than 657, its highest in 24 years. Clark has not only attracted spectators to arenas, but has also captivated audiences' attention profoundly. During the most recent season, the Indiana Fever's televised games recorded an average of 18 million viewers, in contrast to the average of only 394s for other WNBA games. As reported by Sports Business Journal, 22 games exceeded 1 million viewers, with 19 of those showcasing the 2024 ROTI. However, the most telling illustration of the rookie's influence was conspicuously evident when the 2 adversaries met. The regular season game that captured the highest viewership in the season featured the Indiana Fever competing against the Chicago Sky. When the Reese & Co. triumphed over Clark and the Fever with a score of 88-87, the contest garnered an average of 35 million viewers on ESPN, marking it as the most viewed WNBA game in 23 years. This scenario is precisely why the Sky Fever rivalry is projected to attract significant attention this season. By transitioning the games to the United Center, the Sky are preparing for a possible record-setting attendance. At present, the WNBA's regular season attendance record stands at 20,701 fans, established during a 2024 Fever Mystics game at Capital One Arena. With both Clark and Reese participating on the court, the forthcoming matchups possess the potential to exceed that figure. Moreover, the Sky's existing attendance record, set in 2016 at Allstate Arena, 16,144 fans, is nearly certain to be surpassed. In fact, there exists a considerable likelihood that the matchups featuring the Sky and Fever will achieve the highest attendance levels in the history of the WNBA. Furthermore, with the league extending its schedule to 44 games for each team this season, an increase from 40 games the previous year, there is an even greater potential for unprecedented moments. While the Chicago Sky's relocation to the United Center stems from a strategic business decision, it is evident that Caitlin Clark's influence has been a substantial factor. The true assessment of this initiative will be determined on May 17th and June 7th. Caitlin Clark's popularity has surged dramatically following an outstanding rookie season. The Fever star had a groundbreaking collegiate career at the University of Iowa and is set to compete in a preseason game against Brazil. The anticipation surrounding Caitlin Clark's preseason game is palpable, as tickets sold out in fewer than 40 minutes. The lowest resale price for entry currently stands around $759, including associated fees. This amount exceeds the pricing for any game in the NBA. For comparative purposes, a ticket for the NBA matchup between the Philadelphia 76ers and the Chicago Bulls was priced at only $297, while the minimum fees for admission to the NBA encounter between the Memphis Grizzlies and the Phoenix Suns were merely $4. The NBA must address its competitive position as the WNBA's marquee player sells out venues for a preseason event. The league has experienced a decline in viewership, with ticket prices decreasing due to reduced attendance. The women's basketball arena is expanding rapidly, and the WNBA is transitioning towards mainstream recognition. Caitlin Clark has been a pivotal contributor to this evolution through her remarkable shooting and passing abilities. Every game involving the Indiana Fever has sold out, prompting other WNBA franchises to transition to larger venues in order to optimize ticket revenue. The Indiana Fever has scheduled 3 preseason games, including one against the Washington Mystics on May 3rd in Washington, and another versus the Atlanta Dream on May 10th in Atlanta. Additionally, the Fever has arranged a special game featuring Caitlin Clark's return to Iowa to face the Brazilian national team at the Craver Hawkeye Arena on May 4th.